want to have a little chat about PlayStation. Not as much a chat as a rant. It's kind of an intervention, so Sony, take a seat. Because it is currently June something. I have lost track of time of my life. Days slipping away, time becoming distant memory. Psych, what day is it? It's June 4th. E3 is coming very close. It's practically upon us. This is the first E3 with the PlayStation 5, and we have absolutely no clue what is coming for this console. We know no new games coming for this console at this point, and obviously a good amount of them are going to get hopefully announced during E3. But the fact that we are about to hit the PS5's first E3, and we have barely any games for it, exclusives for it, and we have no idea what could possibly be coming for it, is absolutely mind-boggling to me. By this point on the PS4, we had Killzone Shadowfall, a fantastic first-person shooter in one of Sony's mainline IPs. We had Knack, which I know is not a beloved game, but I think it's a very good game. I enjoyed the first one a lot. And it no doubt was a very next-gen experience. It had very pretty visuals, lots of polygons and stuff on the screen. And those two were launch games, along with Resogun, another launch game. Very pretty game. All three of the games are games you would never imagine being able to see on the PlayStation 3 at the time, especially Killzone Shadowfall. I played that a few months before PlayStation 5 came out, and I was still kind of blown away by the visuals. That game almost looks better than some games that released in 2020. And then, 3 months after that, in March, we had Infamous Second Son, which was another huge leap forward in technology. That game would no way function on a PS3. That completely pushed forward gaming in a generation. And it was fantastic. And so by 3 months in, we had at least 4 Sony exclusives, 2 of them in huge major IPs that were humongous games that pushed next gen forward. At this point in time, 6 months approximately into the PlayStation 5 life cycle, we have a really gorgeous remake of a PlayStation 3 game. We have Destruction All-Stars, which I personally really, really love, and I actually think that's a very good showcase for the PlayStation 5 as far as graphics, visuals, and controller functionality and audio functionality. But that's no doubt a AA, lower tier. That game did not hit. It doesn't get played a lot. That's not it's a cool showcase for the early showcase for the console, but it's not pushing. You're not looking at that game and being like, whoa, I could never imagine seeing something like this on the PlayStation 4. And then we have, Returnal, which I haven't played yet, to be completely fair, because it looks cool, but I just don't know if I'm going to get enough out of it for $70. And that game does look very pretty, but again, it's nothing mind-blowing. It's just very good looking. And it's another lower tier. That game did not do very well, much like Destruction All-Stars. And then we're finally getting 6 months later a brand new Ratchet & Clank game that's a PS5 exclusive. And it's really, to be honest, the first game on the PS5 I'm like, oh wow, this is why you have to have a PlayStation 5. This game looks really awesome. Visually, looks and even some of the mechanic-wise, mostly visually, it just looks like nothing I could probably play on the PlayStation 4. And it looks awesome, and I love Ratchet & Clank franchise. So I'm very excited for that, but the fact that we're getting our first what feels like our first real PlayStation 5 game 6 months in, and the thing is, we have Ratchet & Clank, and that's very cool, but what else do we have? We have some other lower tier games that are good, and they're fun, and I like that they're trying new things, but they're nothing that's screaming next gen PS5. And we have nothing coming out that's screaming next gen PS5, because we have Horizon coming out, PS4, PS5. Just announced God of War 2 coming out in 2022.
Alright, Richie here. I just wanted to clarify that it's not that God of War 2 was just announced recently. I know that was announced a while ago. I'm saying it was just announced recently that it's coming to the PlayStation 4, which we did not know when it was originally announced.
PS4, PS5. And the 2022 release date for God of War isn't surprising. I don't think anybody expected that to come out in 2021. I mean, the last one came out in 2018. It's not that much time for a big game. Especially if Horizon is coming out this year. Why would they release both of those in the same year? And Gran Turismo 7 has not technically, I don't think, been confirmed for PS4 yet, but people are saying that that game's coming also to PS4. So pretty much every major PlayStation exclusive title that we know of at this point is coming to PS4. Mind-blowing. Why did they release the PlayStation 5 in 2020? Why did they not hold it back until holiday 2021? Because there's no reason for this console to exist right now. It serves no purpose. There's nothing cool that's coming out for it. You're just playing a lot of nicer looking PlayStation 4 games. It's practically a glorified PlayStation 4 Pro with a couple of extra games that you can't play in your PlayStation 4 Pro. And God of War, that's really the one that, like, for me, got me a little heated for this rant, because it's just, why? I mean, I know why, but it's just so stupid that almost 2 years, because God of War is not coming out in the first half of 2022. That's not a February, March game. That's a huge title. That's a June Last of Us 2 kind of time, or holiday season. I feel probably holiday season, but June is also possible. I doubt that game's coming out in the first half of 2022. So that game's pretty much going to be coming out almost exactly 2 whole years after the PlayStation 5 launched. And it's coming out and being made for the PlayStation 4. No matter what they tell you in the marketing about how they're making these games for PlayStation 5, they're not. If the game's coming out for PlayStation 4, that means it has to be made for that hardware and then scaled up for PlayStation 5. Because if they made that game for PlayStation 5 and really fully utilized the PlayStation 5 to the way the developers capabilities and knowledge, it probably wouldn't be able to run on PS4. They probably wouldn't even be able to downscale it to PS4. So that game's probably being made for PS4. So why is one of Sony's biggest games coming out 2 years after the PlayStation 5 launch being made for PlayStation 4? I think it's very obvious why they're doing it. It's financial. It's money. They want the biggie boys, Because it was, 90 or 100 million PlayStation 4s out there in the wild? I forget the exact number, but it's probably like 100 million PlayStation 4s, roughly, give or take. 10 million, I don't know. But there's like 5.5 million PlayStation 5s that have been sold, I believe, roughly. So there's like, and 80 million plus more PS4s that they can sell God of War to. So I understand that's why they're doing it. But it's a terrible move on Sony's part. It's a bad look. As a longtime fan, as a man who's been here since the PlayStation 2, a loyalist for most of his life. I have an Xbox. I enjoy my Xbox. I have a Switch. I really love my Switch. But I'm a PlayStation guy. Always have been. And as one of Sony's loyalists, it's just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to your customers? Why are you doing this to the people who gave you $500 for a console on the launch year? Why are you making them wait 2 to 3 years to get them games that validate their $500 purchase? It just makes no sense. And I know a lot of people, that probably the mainstream consensus on this is very positive, because most people don't have PlayStation 5 yet. They haven't been able to get one, which is unfortunate. I have to admit, obviously, that sucks. But that's still not a reason to make every single game hold back all your games on the PS4. Because if you have to think about it like this, if you don't own a PS5 yet, that sucks. But by the time God of War comes out a year plus from now, you're probably going to own a PS5. Because if they were able to make and sell over 5 million PS5s in its first year, they're going to be able to make and sell at least that many in the second year. I have no doubt. So by the time God of War comes out in the second half of 2022, there's a very, very likely chance that anybody who wants a PS5 that badly is probably going to be able to get one. Especially because I think they're cracking down on scalpers a little more now than they did at launch. And if that's the case, are you going to be happy then in 2022 when you spent $500 on your PS5 that you now can buy God of War, a PS4 game that you could have just bought on your PS4 and you didn't have to buy the PS5 anyways? Like, why do you even want to spend $500 on a PS5 when nothing is coming out for it? When every game is going to be coming out for the next 2 to 3 years, you can just buy on your PS4 currently, and it's going to look a little worse, but like, it's going to be like the difference between Spider-Man Miles Morales and Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS5. Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS4 and Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS5. There's a noticeable difference, but it's not huge. You're not looking at Miles Morales PS5 and be like, that's a next-gen game, because it's not. It's not a next-gen game. It's just a really, really good-looking PS4 game. So why would you even want God of War to come on a PS4? Because in 2022, because it's just like you're gonna get the PS5 then, and you're gonna have nothing to play for it. And then why would you be happy that you wanted Sony to hold back these games so you could play them on your PS4? And then there's Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo, notoriously big, and Forza is the same way for Microsoft, because racing sims are games that usually push graphics forward in generations like massively. And Gran Turismo has been notorious for that, as has Forza been. And the fact everybody was excited for GT7 to do that for PS5, but no, it's coming out for PS4 now too. So how good is that game really gonna look? It's like Halo Infinite. Everybody was, when they revealed Halo Infinite, everybody was mind blown by how not that great the game looked, and they were like, what the fuck, I thought this was supposed to blow my mind. This is the next gen Halo. It's not. It's Halo for the Xbox One that was upscaled for the Xbox Series X. If Halo Infinite has to run on an Xbox One, which Microsoft is making it fully run on an Xbox One, then that means it's an Xbox One game. So you're not getting a next generation Halo until whenever they decide to release the next Halo after Halo Infinite, which I don't think is going to be happening, because it sounds like Halo Infinite is supposed to be the last one for like a good 10 years maybe. And Sony's doing the same thing. And the problem with Sony is Microsoft, before the Series X came out, they were very clear. Every game that comes out, at least within the first year of the Series X's release, is going to be on every console. So at least you knew before the Series X came out that you wouldn't actually have to buy, there's no reason to buy this thing for at least a year, because nothing's going to come out for a year. On PlayStation, they never said this. GT7 was advertised as a PlayStation 5 exclusive up until a few days ago. God of War 2 was never advertised to be on the PlayStation 4. I don't know if it was advertised exclusively on PS5, but they also never clarified that it was going to be coming to PS4. Horizon Forbidden West, that was talked about earlier. That was going to be coming to PlayStation 4. I'm not sure if that was before PS5 came out or after PS5 came out. I know it wasn't that long ago that they mentioned it, but I can't exactly remember when. And Horizon to me makes sense. Like, I'm not surprised Horizon's coming on PS4, because that game probably started production in 2017. I don't know if they had dev kits in 2017 for PS5. God of War is the one that's like surprised me, and so is Gran Turismo 7. Because God of War, they have to imagine they started production on that in 2018, right when the first one came out. And I have no doubt that they had PS5 dev kits, at least enough for their major first-party studios in 2018, because there's no way Ratchet & Clank would be coming out now. They got that dev kit like a year ago, so you know they probably had a few PS5 dev kits in 2018 that they were given to their major first-party studios, and I'm sure Santa Monica is one of the biggest, so I have no doubt that they could have made God of War exclusively on PS5. It's just obviously a financial reason that they decided not to. And it just bums me out when I see people being like kind of apologetic towards it, or like understanding towards Sony, like, this sucks, but I get it, you know, they're a company, they want to make money, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But why? Doesn't mean you have to be okay with it. Like, everybody understands why they're doing this. I don't think that's a question. It's very obvious why they're doing the whole cross-gen thing. It's not, I don't think it's a consumer-friendly move. I don't think they're doing this to appease all their PlayStation 4 users. They're doing it to make all the money they can off their PlayStation 4 users. And this is a multi-million-dollar company with CEOs sitting on millions of dollars, fucking with vacation homes probably. Like, you're a 5-digit a year making average Joe consumer like me. Like, it's not a lot. It's not wrong. You don't have to be like, this sucks, but I understand. Like, no, you could say, this sucks, Sony, why are you doing this? Don't do this. As a consumer, as the person who's helps give you your millions and millions of dollars, who spent $500 in this and gave you $500 on the first year of PlayStation 5, this is not how you should be treating your consumers. They should not release a new console if they're not going to take care of the people who bought the console. I'm not saying every single little game that comes out from launch has to be on PlayStation 5 only. That wasn't the case on PS4 either. But there needs to be better treatment. There needs to be more PS5 exclusives. There was twice as many great big PlayStation 4 next-gen exclusives at this time than there are for PS5. And we don't even have we have no future idea of anything coming out. I know they said we have 25 games working on by all of our studios. Well, that's like great PR speak. But we're 6 months into the PS5 and we have like pretty much nothing. And telling us that you have 25 games and it's great. Like, where are the games? E3 is coming. I haven't played like our next gen game yet, really. I don't even know if I really call Demon's Souls that next gen. It was definitely something that was very gorgeous and probably wouldn't run on a PS4, but it wasn't anything I was like, holy shit, no way. It was just like, damn, this looks really good. This is a terrible look for them. I think as someone who's a huge fan, I'm like a loyalist, a Sony fanboy, if you will. I'm not apologetic about that. But this is, for me, as someone who's been a fan and will still be a fan probably till the day I die, or they die, whichever one of us is going first. This is a terrible look for them. I know they're pissing all their fan base off. All the people who've made Sony, I don't want to say made Sony who they are, but has helped make Sony who they are, who's stuck with them through their lower early PS3, even though those were probably my favorite Sony days, where their less financial successful days. We were there with them, buying all their first party games, enjoying the ecosystem, and now here we are. Here you go, have a little what's this? I just picked up this Crown Returnal PS5. Oh, okay, here, have this. What's that? You want God of War on the PlayStation 5? No! It's just like, why are you doing this to your fans? They're really, it seems like they're going for the mainstream market now, and I don't think it's a great look. And you could tell in a PR sense they're really trying to like play both fields, but they're just doing such a bad job at it. They're like, we have all these great next-gen exclusives for PS5, Returnal, Destruction All-Stars, Demon's Souls, and soon Ratchet and Clank. Doesn't the PS5 look awesome? We're giving you all these exclusive games for it. But what about the really big, great games like God of War, Horizon, Gran Turismo, etc.? I don't even know what else is coming out from them. Oh no, these are all PS4 games, because we're trying to help out the people who still own a PS4. But for you PS5 guys, we have these okay AA games that in reality, we're doing this because these games weren't going to sell great on the PS4 regardless. So we're not losing much money by making them PS5 exclusives, and we're making ourselves look better because it looks like we care about our PS5 owners, when in reality, we don't give a shit because all the games that truly matter are actually coming out for the PS4. So fuck you and your $500. That's what it feels like. That's pretty much it for my rant. I don't think I have anything else to say. I didn't make a clear list of what I should say. I just kind of ranted. If you try to look past Ratchet and Clank in a week, there's nothing for you to look forward to on a PS5. There's no reason to own a PS5 right now, which sucks. Like, it really sucks, because I want there to be, as a Sony fanboy, I want it to be like the PS4 where I'm like, oh, yes, I'm so glad I bought this PS4 on day one, because look at this awesome games I can play. Killzone is so fun. Guys, come over and check out Killzone. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. Whoa, oh my god, this is crazy. There's nothing. There's like Astro's Playroom for the controller, which is amazing. It's an awesome game to show your friends, but it's like, it's not really that next gen. We just don't have anything like that right now. E3 is coming up in like a week or two. I'm sure they'll announce some things, but the games they announced at E3 for PS5, if any of them are PS5 exclusives, which maybe one or two I feel like might be, and the rest might not be, I don't know. But if any of them are PS5 exclusives, they're probably not coming out for at least a year or two. Probably around when God of War is going to come out, which means that your PS5 is pretty much a PS4 Pro until 2022, 2023. Which is like, okay, why did you release it in 2020 then? Besides the fact that you knew you can make a lot of money on it then. It's ridiculous. It's a terrible system. Sony's doing an awful job with the PS5 right now. But that's just how I feel about it. Let me know in the comments how you feel about it. Do you feel differently? Are you happy that everything's coming out on the PS4 because you don't want to buy a PS5? Do you think you're going to be happy though when you do buy a PS5 and there's nothing to play for it? But maybe you don't care. Maybe you're happy with your PS4. Let me know in the comments. Are you also mad like I am? I don't know. I'd just like to hear what all my other Sony fanboys think about this situation. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening to my rant, Sony. this intervention is over. I hope you learned a lot. Hope you can just take a deep reflection upon yourself. Maybe have a nice vacation, go somewhere upstate, clear your head, work on a farm. Think about what you've done. We're here, we love you. We want to support you. Stop making cross-gen games. All right, goodbye.